The fusion of African and Native American cultures has created a rich tapestry of oral traditions, folklore, and legends. Among these are the haunting ghost stories that reflect the spiritual beliefs, historical traumas, and cultural resilience of Black Indians, descendants of African slaves and native peoples who formed unique communities across North America. These tales, passed down through generations, carry echoes of oppression, survival, and connection to the land, making them a vital part of American history. These ghost stories do more than frighten. They provide a spiritual lens through which we can understand the shared struggles and triumphs of Black Indians. In the southeastern United States, where much of this shared history began, the swamps and forests are said to be alive with spirits. Among the Seminole and Gullah Geechee communities, legends tell of the shadow walkers, spectral figures that roam the mangroves and marshes. These apparitions are believed to be the spirits of escaped African slaves who sought refuge among native tribes, only to perish in the treacherous wilderness. They are often described as shrouded in mist, their faces obscured, their presence accompanied by the sound of rustling leaves or whispers in the wind. Some elders say the shadow walkers are protectors, watching over the descendants of those who endured unimaginable hardships, while others believe they are lost souls, unable to find peace because of the injustices they suffered in life. One particularly haunting story comes from the Cherokee freedmen, descendants of African slaves once held by the Cherokee Nation. It is said that the Trail of Tears, the forced removal of native peoples to lands west of the Mississippi River, left behind a spiritual scar. Along this infamous trail, travelers have reported encountering ghostly figures, some wearing the traditional garb of the Cherokee, others in the ragged clothes of enslaved Africans. These apparitions are said to appear at twilight, their forms barely distinguishable from the surrounding shadows. According to legend, they are the spirits of those who perished during the grueling journey, their cries of anguish echoing through the forests. Witnesses claim to hear the faint strains of spirituals or native chants, a poignant reminder of the cultural blending that occurred during this dark chapter of history. In Oklahoma, where many Black Indians eventually settled, stories of ghostly encounters are equally vivid. The descendants of the Creek Nation tell of the midnight dancers, spectral figures that emerge during the full moon to perform ancient rituals. These ghosts are said to be the spirits of African and Creek ancestors who joined forces to resist colonization and slavery. The midnight dancers are not malevolent. Instead, they are seen as a source of inspiration, a reminder of the resilience and unity that allowed these communities to endure. However, those who approach too closely or disturb the ritual are said to suffer misfortune, as if the spirits are guarding their sacred space from the intrusion of the living. The Black Seminoles, who fled to Florida's swamps to escape slavery and persecution, have their own tales of spectral guardians. Among these is the story of the Fire Spirit, a glowing apparition that appears in the Everglades. According to legend, the Fire Spirit is the ghost of a warrior who sacrificed himself to save his community from capture by slave hunters. His spirit, it is said, now manifests as a flickering flame that guides the lost to safety or warns of impending danger. Travelers who have encountered the Fire Spirit describe a sense of calm and reassurance, as if the warrior's bravery and sacrifice continue to protect his people even in death. Further west, in the territories where the Blackfoot Nation once thrived, ghost stories take on a more ominous tone. The Crying Woman of the Plains is a figure that haunts the grasslands, her wail said to pierce the stillness of the night. She's often described as wearing a blend of African and native attire, her face streaked with tears. The legend holds that she was a mother who lost her children to a violent raid, her grief so overwhelming that it tethered her spirit to the earth. Those who hear her cries are warned not to follow, as her sorrow is said to draw the living into the spirit world. Despite her tragic story, some believe that the Crying Woman is a protector, her haunting presence a deterrent to those who would harm her descendants. In Louisiana, where the blending of African and native cultures gave rise to Creole traditions, ghost stories are infused with elements of voodoo and other spiritual practices. One chilling tale is that of the Swamp Singer, a ghostly figure said to haunt the bayous. The Swamp Singer is believed to be the spirit of a woman who used her voice to lead slaves to freedom, guiding them through the labyrinthine waterways to safety among the native tribes. After her death, her spirit continued to sing, her ethereal melodies said to protect travelers from danger. However, her song is also a warning. Those who hear it are reminded of the perils faced by their ancestors and the courage it took to overcome them. The Great Plains, too, have their share of Black Indian ghost stories. Among the Lakota and Dakota Sioux, legends tell of the Shadow Riders, ghostly horsemen who appear during storms. These spectral figures are said to be the spirits of Black and Native warriors who fought side by side against encroaching settlers. Their appearance is seen as a sign of impending conflict or a reminder of the unity that once existed between these two oppressed groups. Witnesses describe the Shadow Riders as galloping across the horizon, their forms illuminated by flashes of lightning, their presence a testament to the enduring spirit of resistance. In the Appalachian Mountains, where African and Native traditions mingled in isolated communities, ghost stories often center on the natural world. One such tale is that of the Spirit Tree, an ancient oak said to be inhabited by the souls of those who sought refuge in its shade. According to legend, the tree was a meeting place for runaway slaves and native allies, its massive branches providing shelter and protection. After their deaths, it is said that their spirits became part of the tree, their voices heard in the rustling of its leaves. Those who approach the Spirit Tree with respect are said to feel a sense of peace, while those who do not are warned of dire consequences. These ghost stories of Black Indians are more than just tales of the supernatural. They are a reflection of a shared history of struggle, resilience, and cultural fusion. They remind us of the enduring connections between African and Native American communities and the spiritual traditions that have helped them navigate centuries of adversity. Through these stories, the voices of the past continue to speak, offering lessons, warnings, and a profound sense of connection to the land and to one another.